I wanted to build a Christmas ornament for some family members, and I had these LED battery powered tea lights left over I thought I could use to illuminate the inside of an inside out turning. I had some walnut and Osage orange that I had harvested a year ago from my brother-in-law's farm, and I really liked the striking contrast between the dark of the walnut and the light of the Osage orange. The result is a 3-pillar inside-out turning with a Christmas tree inside of it. So I set my table saw blade at 30 degrees and was able to make multiple runs through, and that would give me the angles that I needed. So as you can see, it gives me a diamond shape, several of them, plus it's a little thicker than the 5/4 that I had milled the board down to, which would give me more diameter for the ornament. So you can see I've got a 60-degree corner there, 60-degree opposite, and then I've got 120 and 120. And as I take all of these and I start rotating them into place, you can see how after I get these buckled together, they will form a nice tight hexagon, and then I can band them with a hose clamp to hold them all together without having to glue them, and that'll allow me to turn the inside of this. I've got the hose clamps installed, and I've also wrapped the hose clamps with Gorilla Tape to keep the tails against the stock. That would keep my knuckles from being whacked and protect them. The other thing that I did was I drilled a hole in the center and then kind of chamfered it down a little bit. That would give me an exact dead center that I could mark up in the lathe with the headstock and the tailstock. I thought I could get 3 ornaments out of this stock piece of wood, and so I installed several more band clamps, hose clamps around, and left open the area that I could carve out the inside and start at the far end and work my way back towards the headstock. That way I didn't get the torque pulling these pieces apart where the wood got really thin. So after turning down and sanding, I sanded with 80 grit, and then I went to 220, then to 320 and 400. Then I was able to wipe it off and actually get some Aussie oil on there to do the finish on the inside. Once I got the 2 or the 3 pieces glued together, finishing the inside was not going to be near as easy as it would be if I did it before they got glued together. So I'm just using a parting tool and going to part off the first of the 3. So gluing time. And the way this worked, it worked out really nice. I was able to get the glue on and use the same hose clamps to actually clamp them all together. And that way I was able to clamp an odd shape, and I'd leave them overnight to sit, dry up before I turned them the next day. The one thing you want to do, especially once you finish the inside, is make sure you get all the glue out. So I'm wiping it all off here so I don't have any glue buttons or beads showing up on the inside of my finished inside part. So I moved to making the Christmas trees for the inside, and I took a piece of Osage orange and I chucked it up. And these were real easy to turn, just turned a cone shape on them, get that done real quick, and then use a real fine point to add some circles around the edges to make it look like it had branches and that. A little bit of sanding, a little bit of finishing, and then it's just a simple matter of getting a saw and cutting it loose from the piece that it was chucked up. So now I'm drilling a small pilot hole right in the dead center, and this is going to be the guide for a next size up drill, which will be the same size as what the actual LED light part will fit through. I took a measurement, the diameter that I needed for the LED, and that way I could match a drill bit up to it. You can see here I've got 0.36, and I was able to match that up to a drill bit that I was able to put in. Now this hole is going to go all the way through. It'll go into the actual compartment inside, and this is where the light will actually protrude into the internal compartment. Now I need to make the compartment for the battery pack of the LED light, and I've got 1.15. Now I didn't have a drill bit that exact size, but I figured I could actually use a 1-inch Forstner bit and bore the hole to the depth I needed, and then I could come along with the lathe itself and turn the hole wider. So now it's time to start turning the outside, and I started up at the top and worked my way back to the base, get the shape I wanted, then it'd be sand and finish just like the inside. And now it's on to making the cap. Cap's done very similar to the Christmas tree on the inside using Osage Orange. It's just a little wider in diameter. And there you go. And the finished product, you can see the battery compartment with the light turned on. I inverted it here so you can see where the light LED comes through. And there's the gift.